What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 93 of the Access to Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss, Hugo Got Next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy, Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode, we're going to be breaking down UFC Mexico, Moreno versus Erceg. And on the boxing side, we got a little bit of Top Rank and a little bit of Golden Boy. But before we get into any of that, my brother, tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Austin Hubbard, Thud Hubbard, going one-on-one with Mikaela Mederos. Hubbard, 16-8, fighting out of Denver, Colorado, 33 years old. Mederos, 9-1 overall, also fighting out of Colorado, 28 years old. I'll start on the Mederos side here to break it down. First thing you'll notice about him when he's in the ring, composed, kind of fights like he's been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? I like him. He's young. He's dynamic. Switches stances fluidly. Good forward pressure. Can mix in grappling when he can. Decent balance. Hard to take down. Hard to hold down. He's probably going to be the pick for me. Just being straightforward. Going against Hubbard here. A decent test. Issue I got with Hubbard, and the reason why I'm not really leaning him is a couple things. One, you know, he's the older guy. Two, doesn't really have any kind of like notable UFC wins. You can argue he should be like on a 3-fight losing streak. Give me Mederos here. I think he's going to be able to keep it interesting in the pocket. He's going to be able to stuff Hubbard's takedowns, and I think he's going to be able to probably grind this one out. I can see decision. I don't think anybody finishes anybody here. Hubbard, historically durable, historically dog. So give me Mederos.
Yeah, if you're betting on Austin Hubbard, you have to hope that he can get this fight to the floor and control Mederos. And I'm with you, my brother. I don't see it. I think he's going to have a very hard time controlling the pace of this fight. He's also super low volume, and we kind of know what he is. Mederos, higher ceiling, younger, more explosive. I feel like with Hubbard, if he can't control him with the wrestling, it's going to be a long night for him. Do I think Mederos can stop him? I don't think so. To your point, I think he is historically durable. The lean for me is going to be Mederos. I would say by decision, not with a high degree of confidence there, but a high degree of confidence on the lean. I think Mederos does find a way to get it done. Give me Mederos as the lean here.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have Pretty Boy Jamall Emmers going one-on-one with Gabriel Fly Miranda. Emmers is 20-8 overall, fighting out of Redlands, California, 35 years old. Miranda, 17-7 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 35 years old. Semi-interesting fight in my opinion. I say semi because I think these guys are both talented in their own ways. Emmers, not that he reminds me of like Ryan Spann, but like he's just one of these guys who's just got a lot of talent. You know, he's got decent boxing, he's got wrestling, but for some reason, like when you look at his resume, at least so far in the UFC, it's kind of like he should be beating more guys. I think it's like an IQ thing, or I don't know, maybe he just thinks too much while he's in there. I like Emmers. He's just hard to trust, in my opinion. That being said, I mean, he's fighting an opponent here who's kill or be killed. Gabriel Miranda. I don't think he's been to decision yet in the UFC, and wins and losses. He's fought credible guys in the UFC so far, in Benoit Saint Denis and the last pirate. What's his name?
Cháirez, who we'll be talking about later on this card, by the way.
But, you know, but then he's beating guys in between like Shane Young. Now Gabriel's getting a guy in Emmers who's kind of like middle of the pack. Either way, I don't think this fight goes the distance. If you like the Emmers side, I think it is KO. If you like the Miranda side, I think it's Miranda by sub.
Yes.
I think Emmers, rightfully, probably the rightful favorite. I haven't looked at the odds, but I'm going to be leaning Miranda for the upset. He definitely hits hard, but the bread and butter for Gabriel is the ground. I think he is going to be able to get Emmers on the ground. And if Emmers makes any kind of like questionable decision making like he did against Sabatini, I could see him getting caught. So I think Emmers is probably the pick here, but in terms of a bet and in terms of what I'm probably looking at, I think I'm going to lean the upset here in Miranda. Give me Miranda by sub.
The way you talked about playing these fights is appropriate, 100%. I'm going to be on the other side, though. I think Jamall Emmers should be able to cover this line. This is his fight to lose. The better wrestler.
I agree.
I think Miranda is a good submission artist, does go for a lot of leg locks. And to your point earlier, I know you said that you don't know where Jamall Emmers is with his career. He hasn't been the same since Pat heel hooked him. He had to miss a significant amount of time because of that heel hook. So I feel like ever since that injury, he hasn't been the same. But this is a fight that's much more winnable for him than I think Nate Landwehr. Nate Landwehr is just going to walk you down, put volume on you, and make you uncomfortable. Gabe's going to do that, but Gabe doesn't have the striking or the chin to really give Jamall pause, right?
Yeah, but what scares me is that in that Landwehr fight, he was able to kind of like bait Emmers into that firefight, right? And I don't think Emmers does good in the firefight. Like when he fought Jack Jenkins, you know, composed, kind of controlled the pace. Probably should have wrestled more. That fight probably would have been
much easier for him.
Much easier for him if he just wrestled him earlier. And also what scares me is that Jack was able to take him down in that fight. Not only take him down, but Jack was also able to scramble with him.
Right.
And I think Gabriel is way better on the ground than Jack Jenkins. That's kind of my logic behind my pick. But I completely understand Emmers, the ball's in his court.
Yeah.
This is his fight to lose.
Yeah. I definitely understand the dog shot. I see the value. Don't be surprised if I go that way come fight night. The lean for me right now, though, is Emmers, but he's always been a questionable guy to have your money on, which is why I see why you're leaning the dog shot here. So give me Jamall Emmers, but not with a high degree of confidence. Don't be surprised if come fight night, I do make a play on Miranda's sub or just the unders for this fight, which I think is probably the safest bet for this fight. So, but not with a high degree of confidence of Jamall Emmers. Possible dog play. Follow us on all social media platforms for those picks.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have Melquizael Costa going one-on-one with C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez. Costa, 22-7 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 28 years old. C-Rod is 12-2 overall, fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 27 years old.
One of the toughest fights in the card to call.
Definitely one of the tougher fights for sure. I'm probably going to be leaning Costa here for the upset, though. This is my reasoning. I mean, I'll start on the C-Rod side. I mean, he's a good fighter. Prospect killer, the unofficial nickname for C-Rod.
Correct.
C-Rod has shown success so far in the featherweight division. He's probably a better bantamweight in my opinion, but he just has weight cutting discipline issues, right? C-Rod, in my opinion, struggles with the bigger featherweights, like Pierce, like Erosa. Costa kind of fits that same archetype. Costa's more of a dynamic kicker. I think his kicks are very good. The boxing, C-Rod's got him covered all day. Where this fight becomes interesting, and I think where this fight's probably going to take place the most, is in the grappling exchanges and on the ground. I can see Costa winning this by sub. I think is well-versed enough to give C-Rod issues. Give me Costa here. He's going to be my pick. I think he's the dog here. I haven't had the best luck in fading C-Rod. I don't know why I keep trying to fade C-Rod, because I do think he's a good fighter. Costa's kind of been riding hot. This is a bit of a short notice turnaround for him as well, because he just fought recently. But I like Costa here for the upset.
Yeah, for me, I'm with you. And you kind of talked me on to Costa with this talk just now. I think I'm there too. And I'm there too because he does match the dimensions of the two guys that have given him trouble at featherweight. He's going to be undersized. Costa hits very hard. Costa very explosive. I feel like Costa's ground game, even off his back, is lethal. I don't think C-Rod's going to have a place where he's going to be extremely safe in this fight outside of the boxing range.
Yeah, he's very active off his back. That's one thing I do like about Costa.
And I feel like it's a situation where, just like the Gabriel Miranda fight, like I understand the dog or pass play here because there are paths to victory for both gentlemen in both fights. With this situation, I think I'm going to lean Costa as well as the dog play. Not sure if I'm going to play it. There's definitely a path to victory here for him. Give me Costa for the dog shot here.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have gifted Rafa García going one-on-one with From Hell, Vinc Pichel.
Great name.
Boy, that name is bars. García, 16-4 overall, fighting out of Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico. Repping Mexico, 30 years old. From Hell, Pichel was 14-4, fighting out of Simi Valley, California, 42 years old. This is a fight where I'm going to be leaning Rafa García, but not with a high degree of confidence. I'm just going to put my cards on the table. I think on the feet, I think Pichel's the better striker. Not that García is a bad striker, but he's kind of beat here on the dimensions. I know he trains with Cub, but for a guy who trains with Cub, he kind of lacks a bit in the striking department, where García kind of shines, and I think it's the reason why I'm going to be leaning García here is in the grappling. García will try to push the grappling here. Pichel while he's decent in his own right, can be taken down. Also, you know, a little bit on the older side. He's definitely lost the step, but I mean, Pichel's a fucking dog. That's why I think I'm leaning Garcia, but not with crazy confidence, because Garcia really hasn't been extremely impressive so far. Pichel's one of these guys where you got to kill him to get him out of there. I think Pichel's last fight, he got a tour of the octagon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, by Bonfim.
That was a competitive fight where Pichel was able to, you know, show that he still got pop, he still got striking, but I don't think he could keep up with the you know, the younger talent here in the UFC. So give me Garcia here by the, you know, by decision. And in terms of a bet, I can see maybe split, because, you know, at the end of the day, Pichel got that dog in him. Yeah,
for me, to all the points that you made, I feel like this is another dog play, low key, dog or pass. Pichel's sitting at plus 370, and I'm gonna be honest with you, just because he got a tour of the octagon from Bonfim, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Bonfim's way bigger than him, tough stylistic matchup. Also a guy that got knocked out by BSD and came back way more patient and way more calculated with his striking, so he didn't gas himself out against Pichel. The Mark O. Madsen fight, I thought Pichel won that fight. I thought that was a highway robbery, and that was a guy who could wrestle and get him to the floor. The only reason I'm not even close to, let me not say not even close. The only reason I'm not jumping at a Pichel plays because he's 42 years old. He's historically just struggled with guys that are just big for him against in the weight class. But you're telling me he's going to have trouble with a guy that he has 3 inches height on and 2 inches of reach on over? Not to disrespect Rafa Garcia. I think he's a fucking dog, but he's a guy that I feel like can fight a weight class down. Vinc is going to have size on him, experience, the better striker, and he has a decent get-up game. And I have a hard time believing Rafa's going to be able to hold him down for long periods of time in this fight. Give me Vinc Pichel as a possible dog play here, man. I definitely understand the Rafa pick, but give me Rafa Garcia as the lean, but give me Pichel as a possible dog play.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have Psycho Julia Polastri going one-on-one with Lupita Godinez. Polastri, 13-4 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old. Lupi, 12-5 overall, fighting out of Mexico, hailing from Mexico, 31 years old. I like Polastri. Muay Thai based. She's got decent striking. I think she hits hard. She walks forward, and even recently, I mean, I know it was against Corey McKenna, but she was able to even implement some grappling there. But I do think this is Lupi's fight to lose. I think Lupi, she's got better boxing. She hits just as hard. Hard to take down. Good takedown defense. Very good on the ground. Vicious on the ground. If Lupi's locked in, Lupi's 100% the side. I question Lupi sometimes, because sometimes Lupi, especially when it comes to grappling, or at least when she's getting grappled into, she kind of gets a little stunted on the defense. Defense is his own rewards. Defense doesn't score on the scorecards. I don't think she's going to have that issue in this particular fight. I do think Polastri is going to try to implement some grappling, but Godinez is superior in that department. I don't think she's going to have any trouble defending any kind of takedowns. I think she's going to get takedowns herself. I can see Lupi probably finishing Polastri here. Give me Godinez here for the win. Second, third round.
Yeah, if Godinez had good fight IQ, she'd be a minus 400 against this girl. That's the big question with her. Is she going to come in with a good game plan and stick to that game plan? Or is she just going to fumble the bag like she's normally done in the past against better competition, to be frank? This is a big step down. I think she wrecks this fucking girl, to be frank with you. I don't think she's going to be able to take her down. I don't think she's going to win positions on her. I think Lupi's got a good chin. I think Lupi's got the better boxing. Lupi's sister's an Olympic wrestler. This is Lupi's fight to lose entirely. Give me Lupi Godinez. I'm going to say by third round of decision. I could see a finish earlier in this fight, to your point. Second, third round. I just, with her fight IQ, I think this is a fight to stay away from and just enjoy and see where she's at, see if she's talking differently throughout the week. I don't know, man. With her, it's all the talent in the world. She's the true Ryan Spann of like women's strawweight.
Nah, I think that's a little harsh.
Is it?
I think it is. I think, again, where she struggles the most is against people who can like really grapple / wrestle, because again, she thinks she can score points there, but she doesn't.
So it's a fight IQ issue.
I wouldn't say it's a fight IQ issue. I just think it's more of a fight IQ issue.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's all, folks. You know, like, I don't know what to say from there. Give me Lupi Godinez, second, third round. I don't know how to bet her. She's the lean for sure, but we'll see how we're gonna bet her closer to fight time. If we better.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have the debuting silent assassin Ateba Gautier going one-on-one with Chicho Jose Medina. Gautier is 6-1 overall, fighting out of Cameroon, repping Cameroon, 22 years old. Medina, 11-4 overall, fighting out of Bolivia, repping Bolivia, 33 years old. Gautier, explosive, tough dude from Cameroon. Watching his Contender Series fight, they mentioned that this guy was stabbed 3 times with a screwdriver. If you look at him, chiseled, extremely athletic, hard to take down, but I think it's more because he's just so physically imposing and physically strong and less about his technique. I think technique-wise, definitely a little raw, definitely a little green. He was taken down and look completely lost for, you know, I guess lack of a better phrase. But he's 22. He hits hard, swings wide, but also kind of accurate. The majority of his wins are via KO. I think he's only got 1 loss. I think it was his first professional fight. He does lack in the experience department. And for that reason, I think I'm going to be leaning Medina. Not that I like Medina. I think Medina is a bit of a punching bag, but that man is durable as fuck. I think he's going to go forward. He's not going to be able to outstrike Gautier. I think Gautier is going to probably get tired of punching Medina in the face. If Medina is able to get this fight to the floor, I think he can finish him. Give me Medina here, probably for a very big upset. Unless Gautier, like I said, he's 22. He probably could have made massive improvements. He is hard to take down, especially against the cage. But, you know, an easy body lock, inside trip, outside trip takedown, I think it's curtains for Gautier. I think it's a little too much too soon, even though they tried to give him or match make him as soft as possible here. Like I said, Medina, punching bag, but Medina's a fucking dog and hard to get out. So give me Medina here for the upset.
Yeah, I'm with you on this this dog shot. And I'm with you on this dog shot, but this, and the line is out of control. It's plus 410. And Gautier looked like a fish out of water in the Contender Series when he got taken down to the floor, especially in the middle of the mat. Looking at his corner, looking for instructions as if he had no experience with grappling, which he probably doesn't. Medina needs to just trip and fall on top of him for him to win this fight. I don't think Medina is very good, but the fact that he is durable, he's going to have more opportunities to create scrambles and get to the body of Gautier in case he gets hit and rocked or just ankle pick him as he's falling over to the floor. I mean, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for Medina here to win this fight. I'm with you on the dog play. I think this line is out of control for a guy who has a clear path to victory, to be frank, and is durable, which if you're telling me he's durable, he's just going to have more opportunities throughout the fight, especially if Gautier can get him out and then he gasses later in the fight. I'm with you on Medina. I think he probably could get to his back or even get side control and do nasty work to him. So give me Medina for the dog play here. Well, dog lean rather. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but I'm with my brother here on the dog as the being very live at this point in time. So
next fight on the card at men's flyweight, we have Edgar Cháirez going one-on-one with CJ Vergara. Cháirez is 11-6 overall, fighting out of Mexico. Rep in Mexico, 29 years old. Vergara is 12-6-1, fighting out of San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio, 33 years old. I like both guys here, but for different reasons. I'm probably going to be leaning Cháirez here for the win here, though. I've always kind of had a bit of a soft spot for Cháirez. I think he's a little underrated. I think the kid's got talent. His striking is decent, but he hits hard. I think his grappling is a little underrated. Nothing against CJ. The guy's durable. I think he's got decent boxing. The problems I've had with CJ are the same problems I've had with CJ before. I mean, arms not long enough to box with God. And I think he's one of the slower guys in this division in terms of just like general overall like hand speed. Cháirez got him beat on the dimensions. Cháirez, I think, hits pretty hard. The issue with Cháirez is I think he can get work to the body, which I think CJ could probably exploit here. This fight is Cháirez's to lose, in my opinion. So give me Cháirez here. I don't know if he finishes CJ. I'll say decision, or, you know, I'll say 3rd round decision, but give me Cháirez. He's going to be the pick here for me.
Yeah, CJ Vergara, I'm not too sure about him anymore, man. He's just a scary bet. He's a scary bet no matter what. Everyone thought he was going to win his last fight. He got slapped up by that dude that just beat Charles Johnson up. I don't know, man. I'm going to give a casual take here. He's just a scary guy to put your money on. He's always small. He's got tiny arms. He's not very good at anything. He's kind of just a well-rounded guy. Doesn't really have an ace in the hole in case he gets into trouble. Cháirez is a straight dog. Unless you start attacking his body, I feel like you're going to have a lot of trouble with him. And CJ Vergara is not like a prolific body puncher or kicker. So if he's going to wrestle into him, beware of Cháirez's guillotine. He does throw up a lot of good submission attempts. Almost got banned the last time he fought in a couple of them. I feel like Cháirez is definitely worth a shot here. And he's actually not even the dog. He's the favorite. He's a minus 250 favorite. That makes sense. Give me Cháirez here. I'm going to say this 3rd round decision. That's why I'll go with it. But I'm not too very confident in that. I just think he's going to win the fight.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have El Niño Problema, a.k.a. Chihuahua, Raul Rojas Jr. going one-on-one with Vendetta, Vince Morales. Rosas, 10-1 overall, fighting out of Santa Rosa, California, 20 years old. Morales, 16-9 overall, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, 34 years old. Another semi-soft matchup here for Rosas, but, you know, definitely a step up. I think on the feet, Morales walks him. Even though Rosas has been showing a bit of an improvement on the feet, I mean, Morales, you know, gritty vet. This is his second stint in the UFC. I think he's got better hands for sure. He has enough grappling acumen where he can kind of make this a little interesting for Rosas here. Rosas, if he gets this fight to the ground, the exchanges and the scrambling is going to be, you know, is going to be there, but I think he's going to be able to control for the most part. I think it's his fight to lose on the ground. I kind of want to pick Morales as a dog shot here, but I'm not that confident. Give me Rosas here. I think he does win this. It's probably by decision.
Yeah, I'm with you. This fight stinks on a lot of levels. Not only because it might not be too entertaining, but also because it's not a good place to place your money. Because Vince is not, if he's not plus 500, it doesn't make sense. He's not bad. I just don't think he's the one to beat this guy the same way C-Rod did. You know, C-Rod exposed him. Someone's got to end him now. You know, and I don't think Vince is the guy that's going to end him. I think Vince has a lot of holes in his game. This is going to be, to be fair, Vince's first like real camp, because I feel like he takes every fight on short notice in the UFC. So all credit to him. He's a tough guy. And since he's tough, I'm going to also pick Raul Rosas by decision here. I don't think he's going to be able to get his back and sub him that easily. If he does, I'd be pretty surprised. But if I had to lean, it's going to be Raul Rosas by decision.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have the debuting David Martinez, a.k.a. Black Spartan, going one-on-one with Simon Oliveira. Martinez, 11-1 overall, fighting out of Mexico, 26 years old. Oliveira, 18-5 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 33 years old. On paper, conventional striker versus grappler here. David Martinez, the, I think, younger brother of Super Melly, Melissa Martinez, comes out of Kombat Global. I think he was the champion there. Very good striker, good cardio, can go all 3 rounds. Going against a guy here in Simon Oliveira, who I don't, if I'm correct, he hasn't fought in 2 years. Yep, 2-fight losing streak in the UFC. And the one thing I remember about this guy is this man will jump for Gilly. He will jump for Gilly every fucking chance he gets. I swear, I think he ran into his grandmother one time. Instead of hugging her, just jump Gilly. He jumps Gilly on everybody.
He's on that Dustin Poirier starter pack.
I mean, went to go hand his Uber driver some money, just jump Gilly on him. Just pulled him right out the car, just jump Gilly. This guy just jumps Gilly. I think Martinez is probably going to be well scouted here. If he keeps this on the feet, I think he's going to fuck him up. Haven't really seen Martinez on the ground enough to be confident that he's going to be able to hang with him on the ground. I mean, Oliveira's a finisher. I give him that. He is a bit kill be killed. But Martinez's hands and his kick so fucking hard. I think he's going to knock him out. Give me David Martinez by KO, and hopefully he's been working on his Gilly defense.
I'm with you on the lean. I just don't agree with the line. He's sitting at almost minus 400, which is absurd for someone that really hasn't had to show their ground game.
That's a bit absurd considering he's debuting against a guy who
can clearly probably grapple better than him.
Yeah.
This is probably a dog or pass spot. I'm with you on the lead. I think Martinez lamps him, but more than all, I feel like I like the unders in this fight a ton. I think this fight probably doesn't go far. The violence is definitely the play. I just don't know if you can get, you can't, not even don't know. You can't get behind Martinez at minus 400. UFC debut against a guy who has a clear path against him. This might be a dog play, man. You know? Give me Martinez as the lean, Oliveira as the possible dog play, and the violence plays are probably going to be, and the unders are going to be something that we definitely take a strong look at in terms of parlaying, or if it's plus money, we'll play it straight. So that's how we look at this fight.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Kevin Gastelum going one-on-one with Body Bags, Joe Pfeiffer. Gastelum, 19-9 overall, fighting out in Yuma, Arizona, 33 years old. Joe Pfeiffer, 13-3 overall, fighting out of Pennsylvania, 28 years old. Interesting fight on paper, but the more I kind of dug into it and the more I kind of really just, molded over, thought about it, I think Joe Pfeiffer is actually going to live up to his nickname here. I think he's going to body bag. Nothing against Gastelum. I know he's a bit on UFC shit list because my man just consistently does not give a fuck about making weight. He just doesn't care. I know he's been like, yeah, UFC, I'm sorry. I really want to, prove to you guys that I'm a contender and I will make the fucking weight, but then consistently just doesn't make the fucking weight. I think Piper's got him covered on the fucking ground, who had a teammate recently just beat the shit out of him and Sean Brady. I'm pretty sure they've both talked about it on their own podcast, how, this is probably like easy light work. Gaslam is a good striker. Piper is a very powerful striker. Underrated hand speed. He might be the first man to knock him out, but probably not. I'm going to say Piper ITD. I'm going to lean submission. I wouldn't be surprised at the knockout. I think that's exactly what happens here. Give me Joe Piper to win.
I will say, I'm with you on the lean. I just don't agree with the line again. The plus 410. The last time Joe Piper...
Who's plus 410?
Gaslam.
That's kind of wide.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, this is the same Joe Piper who had trouble with Jack Hermanson.
Jack Hermanson, though, definitely a high IQ fighter, though, who did give him issues in the grappling department. I don't think Gaslam is gonna be the same thing.
Interesting. I'm kind of on that. And you know why? Because not to do MMA math, but I don't think Hermanson could make Gaslam look that bad. And the reason being is because I think Gaslam's punching boxing is underrated. His delivery system is just better. Piper does have the clear path to victory, but technically his only submission in the UFC is against Abdul Rakhadasan. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, my guy. I like you. You're a good fighter. Judo Thunder. But I just feel like that's his only submission in the UFC. His last submission before that was in 2019. He's not a guy that you can really rely on to get to those spots. And Calvin can wrestle. I know he got ragdolled by Sean Brady, but as we discussed on the last podcast, I think he was a little compromised in that fight because I think he cut a lot of weight to make that weight. And it's a weight that he hasn't made since he made that weight. Piper's the rightful favorite here. I just don't agree with the line. And this is a guy who was able to land on Stylebender at will. This is a guy who went to war with Chris Curtis, who I think is a better defensive boxer than Joe Piper. Judo Thunder was able to land on him too, and he wings his punches.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't disagree that Gaslam's definitely better technically.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree that Sean Brady was able to take him down technically in a weight class that, Gaslam doesn't like. I just see Piper being, obviously, I mean, he's got the dimensions. He's gonna beat him in the dimensions.
He's gonna be way bigger than him.
And Piper is just a big fucking gorilla of a man who I don't think is gonna. I mean, he's got the technique, but I don't think he's gonna really. He'll use the technique, but it's gonna be more lunk style. I think he's just gonna grab Gaslam and then put him on his ass.
Yeah, I think depending on the line for the sub, I think it's worth a look because Gaslam's never been knocked out. Dude has a historically good chin.
Yeah, but Pipe.
Yeah,
he dropped bombs.
He does
astronomically.
I don't know, man.
And I do like Gaslam's gas too.
Yeah, I can't. 100%. Yeah. I can't get behind this line.
I agree with you.
The line is fucking insane.
Wide
if it was like if it was like a minus 200, 300, like we're making it seem like Joe Piper, the Jack Hermanson fight didn't happen. Like, that fight happened. Like we've seen the result of it.
I just feel like stylistically they're just two different guys. Like, because Jack is adaptable, where Gaslam is more like easier to read, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you want the real Gaslam slips punches better than Jack, and I just think he's the better boxer. Like, he's gonna be able to land on Joe. He's fought bigger guys. He's fought guys that are just as big or bigger than Joe and hurt him. Like I said, I just think the line's a little absurd. That's all. Is he the right lean? Yes. I can't get behind the line. If the ITD is 9+ money, I'm not playing that shit. Sorry, not sorry. Matter of fact, how many times has Calvin Gaslam been finished?
Mostly by sub.
Sub 3 times.
I know he's never been knocked out.
Once was Jack Hermanson subbed. Actually, so I lied. Jack Hermanson did sub him via hook. Damn, I'm rethinking my whole pick. Nah,
bring the body bags.
Styles make matchups. So I can't get behind the line. Sorry, but
it's just egregiously wide.
Yeah,
I get it.
Give me Piper though. I'll say ITD.
Next fight on the card at men's flyweight, we have Lazy Boy Rolando Rodriguez going one-on-one with El Gallo Negro Kevin Borjas. Lazy Boy, 17-2 overall, fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 25 years old. Borjas, 9-3 overall, fighting out of Peru, repping Peru, 27 years old. I can't stand Lazy Boy. I won't lie to you. I just do not vibe with the way this guy fights. Like from personally, he's low volume. I think when he's able to like string his combos together and actually, you know, puts out any kind of offense, I think he's actually decent. The issue is he's low volume. I think too patient. I guess he lives up to his fucking nickname, Lazy Boy, because he fights like a lazy fucking guy in there. Like he's just so nonchalant and he's hittable, and it kind of scares me a bit. But I just don't think Kevin Borjas is the right guy to fade him against. Nothing against Borjas. I think he's a very technical, hard striker, but the man cannot defend a takedown. I think it's a step down. I think Ode is a better fighter in my opinion than Borjas. If Borjas gets taken down, I think he's gonna get fucking rinsed. Give me Lazy Boy here. I don't know. It's going to be kind of like hair pulling to watch. I mean, I'm just not a fan of the guy. I'm a fan of the promos. He sounds like a wild man, but I don't know what the fuck he's saying.
Cabrons.
Yeah. Throwing a couple of cabrons in there. And then like, you know, he looks like, you know, a walking advertisement for like, don't drink too much Modelo. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think he's going to win this fight by submission. Give me Rodriguez here to get Borjas down and maybe take this guy's fucking neck. So I say I'm gonna call it just rear naked choke.
Yeah, I think there's a glaring hole in the grappling here. Ronaldo is definitely the rightful lean here.
I just think there's a glaring hole in the striking as well. I just don't think Borjas is gonna be the guy to put him away.
I agree. He has a pretty good chin. Yeah. Lazy Boy. He showed it in his last fight because he got cracked and he survived. I just feel like Peruvian MMA hasn't caught up with the grappling yet, and Ronaldo's going to show him that there's levels to this shit.
Also, I think if Borjas just threw enough leg kicks, it could probably make things a little interesting, but like Borjas is just a headhunter too. So
yeah, he hits very hard.
He does.
But it's just, I agree with you. I think there's just too much of a glaring hole with the grappling. Yeah. And it's Rodriguez's fight to lose. Give me Rodriguez via submission rather. In this spot, but let's see how the line shakes out before we play it, because I don't want to commit to anything if the value is not going to be good. If the value is good, we'll play it. Follow us on all social media platforms as usual.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight and as currently constituted the co-main event of the evening, we have El Loco Manuel Torres going one-on-one with Drew Giga Chin. I'm giving him that nickname, Dober. Torres is 15-3, fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 30 years old. Dober is 27-14, fighting out of Denver, Colorado, 36 years old. Banger of a co-man, in my opinion. Manuel Torres, you look at his tapology, that man has only been out of the first round once, and that fight went to decision. This man is literally kill or be killed. I'm gonna be leaning Torres here, medium confidence. I mean, Dober still fucking cracks, and I still think Dober's got a semi-decent chin. Where I think it gets interesting is if there's any kind of grappling, if Dober tries to initiate some kind of grappling, or even Manuel decides to initiate some kind of grappling. I think Manuel is crazy on the ground. He will grab a neck, he'll try to take a back. I think his transitions are semi-decently smooth. This fight is not going to go 0-3. If it goes 0-3,
someone fucked up.
Something went terribly wrong, or maybe they had Kerry Hatley in there where that man needs to see a body before he stops a fight. I think this is Torres' fight. I mean, he's got the dimensions. He's going to be in his hometown. Cardio shouldn't be an issue for Dober, but you know, Dober's just a little bit on the older side here, and
he's been dropped and not finished as of late.
Submissions are his weak spot, and Manuel's got those in bunches as well if he can't fucking knock him out. But give me Manuel here. Give me a Loco. ITD. I'm going to presume first round. If it makes it to the second, goddamn. I don't think it's going to make it to the third. Give me a Loco for the win here.
People going to bleed. It's going to get cut open and somebody might die.
Yeah.
I
feel like the unders of this fight are live as shit.
They're probably going to be fucking stupid juice.
Yeah.
They're probably almost borderline unplayable.
Unplayable, for sure. Like, someone's going to get served in this fight.
You're probably better off just betting, hey, fight starts round 2 and hope Dober just doesn't die or kill him, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. This fight's a hard lean. Manuel, man, but man, not with a high degree of confidence. You're moderately. I'm not with a high degree of confidence. Someone's going to get served in this fight, and I don't trust either one of these guys striking defense. To be honest, if you want the real, I think Dober's probably the cleaner puncher. Manuel walks into punches. Like,
yeah, I did pick him against Bahamundes, which was, a bad mistake.
No, I don't blame you, man. And the thing is, now hindsight it looks crazy because Bahamundes, I feel like that was really like the fight that kind of showed you how good he was, because I think he recently moved in with Bilal and started working with him. But I don't know, man. I just feel like someone's going to get served in this fight. That's my only read of this fight. Someone's going to get served. It's just who and when.
I'm leaning Torres just only because he's got more ways to win. Like, on the feet is 50-50.
Yeah, Dober can probably control him with the wrestling, but he's shown a propensity to get subbed once he gets into the wrestling exchanges. So.
I'm just thinking about that Moicano fight where Moicano was just able to, like, and Moicano is very good on the ground, jiu-jitsu-wise, and, ground and pound, so.
Yeah, Manuel's active.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand. I'm going to go Manuel as well, but not with a high degree of confidence.
Next fight on the card, and it's currently constituted the main event of the evening. We have the assassin baby, Brendan Moreno, going one-on-one with Astro Boy Steve Erceg. Moreno is 22-8 and 2 overall, fighting out of Mexico, 31 years old. Erceg is 12-3 overall, fighting out of Perth, Western Australia, repping Australia, 29 years old. I've always been kind of super high on Erceg here. I still think if Erceg would have got one more takedown against Pantoja, he would have been the champion. Like, that's how good Erceg is. Also, Erceg got chin checked by Kai Kara-France, a guy who I'm not that high on, but I mean, credit to where credit's due. I mean, Kai Kara could crack.
Give Kai the title shot, please. Stop fucking around, man.
He's got to be the next guy in line.
I know Cap just killed a man, but it's just
Kai Kara's been he's been waiting long enough.
Oh my goodness, just give him a title shot.
And I think that's a matchup. Is it a fresh matchup?
It is a fresh matchup.
That's a fresh matchup for Pantoja. I think Pantoja deserves a fresh matchup. Not that Manel Cap isn't, but they fought before already.
Correct.
So, but getting back to this fight, I don't know where I want to lean yet. Because again, I have a bit of a hidden bias on Erceg. I do think he's very good. And I do think he could have been fucking champion. But on the other side, Moreno, I mean, good on the feet, very good on the ground. A guy who I didn't think, maybe even had it in him for a bit. Kind of took, some time off. Now he's back in a position, fighting in Mexico, fighting in his home country. I go back and forth here.
This is a tough fight to call.
Tough fight. I don't think, does this fight go to distance? I got a weird feeling it's not going to.
Yeah, Pantoja, listen, to counter your point too, Moreno's fight with Pantoja was close too, the third one, Yeah. So, I mean, this is a weird fight to call. I think it's dog or pass, strictly, to be frank, because Erceg showed he can grapple in the Pantoja fight. I'm not too sure how much Brendan's going to be able to control a bigger man in the wrestling department.
Now, I was going to ask, do you think that Moreno is a better striker or better grappler? I think he's probably the better grappler.
Yes, I'll go that far.
Maybe not the better grappler than Erceg, but I think he's like, if you had like, where is he better at personally?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like relative to Erceg, I think Erceg's the better striker. Moreno's the better wrestler and grappler, right? But relative to Pantoja, I feel like Moreno's the better striker. Pantoja's the better wrestler, grappler.
Yeah.
And Erceg kind of remains the same. I feel like Brendan's the overall better fighter. This fight can look so many different ways, and the thing is, you have to also hope that that Erceg kind of cleaned up some of his striking defense because he got caught by Kai because he backed straight up. Brendan Moreno showed in his last fight where he just rinsed homeboy. I forgot his name.
Albazi.
I
mean, Albazi, to be honest,
coming off a neck injury.
Yeah,
I get it, but the way Brendan was flowing and throwing in combination that fight, it was incredible to watch. It was the best he's looked, like in terms of his striking prowess. Didn't really even engage in the wrestling. Took him down to make a point.
But it was against a guy who
compromised.
Unfortunately, I think, as much as I like Albazi talent-wise, I think he just might have, unfortunate circumstances, I think he just might have missed the train here in terms of, being a real contender.
Well, I thought he missed the train a long time ago because I thought he got a robbery win over Kai Kara-France as well. Give Kai Kara the fucking title shot, please. Stop fucking with my boy's name, bro.
He gonna get it. I think
I thought he beat Albazi. It was clear he beat Albazi, and he got fucking robbed.
Yeah.
And so I'm with you in terms of the step down in competition there. This is a step up for Brendan, but I also never seen him strike like that on that level. And this is a guy who stopped Kai. You don't want to do MMA math, but Brendan has fought the way better brand of competition. He has more experience at the championship 5-round level. I feel like it depends on his motivation and what he's going for. If he really wants this, he's going to win this fight. But
what's the line on this?
Brendan Moreno's a -192 and Steve Erceg is a +160. And that's the thing. I cannot bet Brendan at this line. This fight's going to be close.
Yeah, it is.
It has split on it, but it could finish, and I think it's a dog or pass spot. Wrong button, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it could be the right button too, because I think people are going to bleed.
Yeah, it's a great fight. It's a great fight.
I think I want to lean Erceg here, but I'm gonna just put my cards on the table. I think I am being a little biased.
No, you're not. And you do like him.
I do like Erceg.
But I don't think you're crazy. This is going to be probably one of the tallest guys Brendan Moreno has fought too. He's not a lethal puncher like High. He's a guy that needs to kind of string his volume together and mix in his wrestling and give you different looks. It's going to look a lot like the Pantoja fight. It's just whether or not Steve has grown up and made those adjustments and or has he gotten over getting flatlined. That's a big thing too. I got to hear how these boys are talking this week, man. It's a good fight. I may not even have any action on it, but the lean is going to be Brendan, but don't be surprised if I make a possible dog shot on Steve Erceg here, because I just think the line it should be lined a little closer in my opinion.
And that does it for UFC Mexico, but staying in Mexico, but moving over to the sweet science, we have a interim WBC World Lightweight title fight, and it's a run back. The first fight was for a vacant belt. This one's for the interim belt. The interim champion, William Zepeda, 32-0, fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 28 years old. The challenger, Tevin Farmer, aka American Idol, 33-7-1, fighting out of Philly, 34 years old.
Yeah, this line is out of control. They have Zepeda sitting at a -650. Tevin Farmer on a return at +420. I know it was a championship fight last time and it was only 10 rounds. I'm going to lean Zepeda for this fight, and I'm only leaning him because I think the extra 2 rounds only favors him because he has the better gas, the better pressure, the more volume. I think it's only going to help him. But Tevin Farmer was able to put damage on this boy last fight. And if Tevin is actually prepared and just mentally ready to go all 12, I feel like this is a fight where he can probably steal a decision here. I just think at +420 is insane. This line needs to be a little closer. Tevin did a really good job fighting off of his back foot, knowing when to close the space, knowing when to throw, knowing when to take rounds, knowing his rest spots in between rounds. That just speaks to his experience. Zepeda is just a marauder, just likes to walk forward, throws a lot of volume, not afraid to get one to give 2. I just feel like, at this line, it doesn't make any sense. Zepeda is the rightful lean, I think, with the 2 extra rounds and the cardio and the volume and the chin, but Tevin Farmer at +420 does sound delicious. I'm going to lean Zepeda by decision, but don't be surprised if I make a possible dog shot here on Farmer. And what I do like in this fight, since they have the in-ring experience, I do like the knockdowns a little bit here. I think someone's going to get dropped. Maybe both of them get dropped. Depending on the line, I'll probably play that too. But give me Zepeda as the possible lean here.
And now moving over from Golden Boy to Top Rank, we have another banger, a couple banger fights here. It's headlined by Mayer and Sandy, but we won't talk about them as of yet. We're going to start with the featured bout. Bruce Carrington, aka Shushu, going one-on-one with Jose Enrique Vivas, aka El Injector. Pause. It just sounds crazy.
Damn.
Carrington, Shushu, perfect. 14-0, fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, 27 years old. Vivas, 22-3, fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 30 years old.
Yeah, this fight, in my opinion, is a little bit of a wash. And the reason being is because I don't think Vivas has the hand speed to deal with Shushu. I really don't. I think Shushu is much faster than him. Shushu's a very good body puncher, and Vivas is a guy who likes to walk forward, very Mexican style, takes a lot of damage, can bury dudes with his pressure. I just feel like Shushu is going to be a little bigger, has the better footwork, is the better counterpuncher, is the better body puncher, and he has the better hand speed here. He's just a physically more talented guy. I feel like this is his fight to lose. He didn't get a stoppage his last 2 fights because those guys were durable and or experienced. I feel like this guy's on the borderline of being experienced enough, but I'm not sure he's been hit by a guy that hits like Shushu with the precision and power that he has, as well as the speed. I think this is falling in line for Shushu to get a mid to late round stoppage. The problem is I can't confidently say that because Shushu probably should have gotten rid of one of his last 2 opponents and did it. Yeah, I'm gonna lean Shushu by knockout, but that can easily change the decision later in the week. Once again, follow us on all social media platforms for bets. But give me Shushu Carrington by knockout here.
Next fight on the card, and is currently constituted the co-main event of the evening for the WBO World Welterweight title. We have Brian Norman Jr., aka the Assassin 2, going one-on-one with Derek Cuevas. Norman, perfect, 26-0, the champion, fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, 24 years old. Cuevas, 27-1-1, the challenger, fighting out of Puerto Rico, repping Puerto Rico, 30 years old.
Brian Norman Jr., 26-0, 20 knockouts. Derek Cuevas, 27-1, 20 knockouts. Someone's going to get dropped and or served in this fight. I'm going to lean Brian Norman, but not with a high degree of confidence. To be frank, this might also be another possible dog play spot because I do think this fight has the capability of being very close. Cuevas is sitting at a plus 360 right now. Brian Norman was a plus 300 on the other side his last contest against Giovanni Santillan. He was an underdog in that fight, plus 300, winded up finding his spots and knocking him out late, arguably for a knockout of the year candidate. And it was a nasty uppercut, straight, and the dude folded over like a lawn chair. It was bad. It was a bad knockout. He was not favored to win that fight. He's very good off his back foot, very good right hand, very good uppercut, and a decent left hook. Cuevas, on the other hand, very good right hand, very good left hook, and very patient and knows how to work behind the jab. Unlike Giovanni didn't know how to work behind the jab. A marauder, similar to Vivas, but just much more durable, much more experienced, and much more of a threat with the volume, and much more calculated. Cuevas pressures, but he's calculated pressure. Knows how to feint, knows how to work behind the jab. Also a very good slip and rip puncher. Very good counter puncher. Brian Norman likes to jab, and this is why this fight gets very interesting. And you've seen it in his last contest against Giovanni. He likes to jab and he likes to throw punches, but I feel like he likes to take pictures after he throws punches. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that he likes to stay in one spot after he throws his combinations. If you do that shit with Cuevas can catch you. He has a couple of knockouts where he slipped the jab, caught him with a left hook, and then caught him with the right hand over the top and put the lights out. It's almost like how Diego Lopez hit Brian Ortega, where he hit him with the left hook and then woke him up with the right hand. You know, for all the MMA guys, that's exactly what Derek does. This fight is interesting just because their striking defenses are not very good. Cuevas, you heard what I said about Brian Norman taking pictures, staying on the center line after he throws punches, is particularly late in the fight and mid to late rounds in the fight. Cuevas has the same issue, but in terms of exiting, he exits straight back sometimes. And if Brian Norman throws in combinations, he can find Derek's chin here. The other reason I'm leaning Brian Norman in this fight is because Cuevas' only losses to the Argentinian's own Damian Bonelli. Damian Bonelli is 24-14. Dude, his last 11 fights, he's lost 10 of them. His only win is against Cuevas. But to be fair, he is awkward, and it was a 6-round fight. So I could see why Cuevas couldn't get a read on him over the course of 6 rounds, because he is awkward. He kind of blitzes. He kind of does this and that. That's the only reason I'm not completely sold on Cuevas, because I feel like Brian Norman would have dispatched of him, to be frank. Give me Brian Norman, not with a high degree of confidence. Don't be surprised at a dog shot.
Next fight on the card, and as currently constituted the main event for this boxing extravaganza for the WBO World Female Welterweight title, we have another run back. Mikaela Mayer going one-on-one with Sandy Ryan. Mayer, the champion, 20-2 overall. Fighting out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, 34 years old. Sandy Ryan, 7-2-1 overall, the challenger. Fighting out of Derby. That was real derped. Derby, England, 31 years old.
Another one.
People gonna bleed, it's gonna get cut open, and somebody might die.
Arguably one of the best female fights you will ever see in the first contest. A little bit of controversy because there was a little bit of a tomato throwing, I think so, on Sandy Ryan prior to the fight happening.
Yeah, she got like, I don't think it was tomato. I think she got like paint or some
sauce or something thrown on her.
Some kind of fucking liquid substance that was not agua.
It was a little bit of foul play. Yeah, I will say. Here's what I will say about this fight. This fight has split majority written all over it again. And here's why. I would be a little more confident the Sandy Ryan side if I could trust her to cut off the ring. She has a very good left hook, but Mikaela Mayer did a simple adjustment just to mitigate that left hand. She took away Sandy's left hand in the fight just by going left and shifting her feet left the whole fight. So if you're going left, if your opponent's going left and this is your hand, it's hard to punch across your body to land the body shot. Similar to what Ankalaev did against Powhatan for the MMA heads. He took away the left hand and then was able to take away the right hand at the same time. Mikaela wasn't able to take away Sandy's right hand. She dealt with the right hand but took away the left hand. This fight is literally going to be a question if Sandy could cut off the ring and get the body shots going. I don't know if she's going to be able to because she chased Mikaela all over the ring last time and did not cut off the ring at all. Historically, she doesn't do this. Mikaela Mayer was able to fight comfortably off her back foot, land decent counter punches in between the rounds. She did a lot of good fucking work. I picked Sandy the last fight. I'm going to leave Mikaela here because I feel like she could probably do a better job at mitigating the right hand. Sandy has got to cut off the octagon, the ring, make it uncomfortable for her, not allow Mikaela to use her feet. And what do you do? Like Sky Nicholson last week, what do you do against girls who use their feet and run around the ring? You go to the body and you use the jab. Sandy doesn't jab, and she couldn't get to the body last fight. I don't know if she's going to get back to it this fight. This fight is fucking interesting because it was split last time, if I'm correct. And it was split last time because Sandy hit so hard that the judges were like, damn, like, do I give Mikaela the volume in that round or do I give Sandy the 2 or 3 punch combination that wobbled Mikaela? It's going to be a good fight. I don't know if I'm going to lean Mikaela, not with a high degree of confidence. That pick might swing later in the week. I just trust Mikaela to make the better fight decisions at this point in their careers. But if Sandy won it, I'm not going to be surprised. The play is definitely going to be split majority if I can play it. If it's plus money, you play the shit out of it. I think it's going to be that kind of fight again. It's going to be that close. Give me Mikaela Mayer via decision, not with a high degree of confidence. The most likely play will probably be a split majority at plus money if it's available. That's how we end this episode of the Access to Combat podcast.
And that does it for this episode's combat coverage. But without further ado, my brother, take us home. Tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Episode 93 in the books. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. See you guys next week for next week's episode. Keep the subs coming. We see them. We're paying attention. Keep on commenting. It's been beautiful. We've been responding to you guys. My brother in particular, he's been handling most of that because he is the fucking man.
You know, I didn't want to say it, but you know.
Keep showing us some love. See you guys next week. Holla at you. Love you. Later.